if you are planning to take a vacation and are frustrated with how high the fares are considering the limited number of airlines operating flights in the country, well, you have some good news on offer. With sky-high airfares having grounded your holiday plans this time around, you won't be entirely wrong in blaming the duopoly of IndiGo and the Tata Group that are dominating the Indian skies. The new contender, however, is now reportedly taxiing on the runway, but will it shake things up? No. We're not talking about another big conglomerate making its way into the highly capital-intensive airline business, but a travel services operator from Kerala that has now obtained the nod to take off. According to a report by CNBC TV 18, Kerala's Alhind Group has just received the Civil Aviation Ministry's initial green light to start its very own airline, Alhind Air. If everything goes according to plan, they could be up and running by the end of this year. Alhind Group is one of the big names in travel and tourism sector, not just in India but also abroad. It's also the general sales agent or GSA for several airlines and claims to have a whopping 20,000 crore rupee turnover with more than 130 offices spread across India and overseas. So what's the plan for Alhind Air? Well, according to reports, the airline will kick off with 3 ATR-72 turboprop planes with an initial investment of around 200 to 500 crore rupees. The idea is to start small, connecting regional routes in the southern part of the country, Cochin to Bengaluru, Thiruvananthapuram and Chennai, among others. But they're not stopping there exactly. Once they've got their regional operations up and running, Alhind Air plans to spread its wings across the country, evolving into a full-fledged domestic carrier. Now, they'll also be adding narrow-body passenger planes to their fleet as they grow. Alhind Air will soon start the hiring process for pilots, cabin crew, engineers and other ground staff. So we're looking at a lot of new job opportunities in the aviation sector at this stage. The timing might just be perfect. The aviation industry in India has seen some major players crash and burn in the recent years, but it's still on a growth trajectory. By the fiscal year 2027-28, it's expected to account for half of the country's international traffic, up from the current 43%. This surge is driven by a shift in spending patterns and an increasing appetite for international leisure travel among Indians. On the domestic front, giants like IndiGo and Air India are expanding their networks, getting to code share agreements and boosting domestic connectivity. All of these moves are fueling the growth of India's airline sector. Passenger traffic is also obviously on the rise. Credit ratings agency ICRA or ICRA reported that domestic air passenger traffic in India in the month of May this year was 14% higher than pre-COVID levels. For financial year 2024, domestic air passenger traffic hit 154 million, and this upward trend is expected to continue. Right now, the Indian aviation market is dominated by just two major players with a few smaller budget carriers in the mix. As of May 2024, IndiGo leads the pack with a 61.5% market share, followed by Air India at around 13.5% and Vistara at a little over 9%, both incidentally under the Tata umbrella. But with Alhind Air set to enter the scene, the skies over India are about to get a lot more interesting from here on.